What is up, everybody? Welcome to the debut of the Daily Dose, brought to you by the Painted Lines. I'm your host, Dylan Davis. If you're new to the channel, please click below on that subscribe button to follow the Painted Lines on YouTube. Go check out their page on Twitter at the Painted Lines. For our first show today, I have a guest alongside with me. He is one of my co-hosts from the Faithful Fanatics podcast. We know him as Gint. Let me bring him in here just in a second. There he is. Matt McGinty, show us that mug. How you doing today?
Good, man. Thanks for having me on. I'm honored to be your first guest.
No problem, Gint. Although you begged a little bit. You know it. But before we break down, the Eagles lost 33-26, lost to the Arizona Cardinals. Before we get into what is now a huge quarterback controversy in Philadelphia, I want to let you guys know that this is not your normal just podcast that you have to just comment in the comment section. We're making this more of like a radio-like call-in show. So there's the link here in the comment section wherever you're watching, or if you're following us on YouTube right now, you can go on and the Painted Lines pinned the comment to, if you click that link, come on with me again for a minute or two, throw us a question, throw in a comment, give your point of view on the quarterback controversy, how Jalen Hurts played yesterday. We'll bring you in when we can. So, yeah, man, stay tuned. Again, the Eagles lost yesterday, but in a lot of people's eyes, it was a moral victory. We've dealt with a few moral victories this season. Everyone told us we can't have those moral victories. So, what vibe did you get from yesterday?
To me, it reminded me a lot of Baltimore and Pittsburgh this year, where it seemed like the quarterback really played well and the team had a shot to win because of the quarterback. But I don't think a lot of the fans looked at it as like those two games.
No.
Jalen Hurts played unbelievable yesterday, or played really good. He got an A. He gets an A on my book. But that, like you said, it was like, I think it was a moral victory. For some reason, it was a bigger moral victory in those games, bigger in this earlier in the season. And I don't want to get into a sob story for Carson Wentz, but that was just my point of view on the situation.
Yeah. So we have Brock here from the Painted Line saying, "What's up?" Go check out Brock's Twitter at Landis Brock. Go to the Painted Lines YouTube channel. He just put out another video about Tyrese Maxey. Great stuff. So go check that out on the Painted Lines YouTube, Twitter, wherever you follow us. The way I look at it, Gint, oh, man, it's tough. So for the new viewers out there that don't always follow us with the Faithful Fanatics or on TPL or watch the live streams with us, I am what you call a Carson Wentz apologist. However, I'm also a realistic, real Eagles fan. I want what's best for the Eagles before I want what's best for a single player. So with that being said, Jalen Hurts is the correct move right now. I want to start by saying he played absolutely phenomenal against Arizona. After the first two drives where he had the safety on the first possession and then 3 and out the following possession, he looked great. The moment never looks too big for the kid. Even when a play is breaking down, even that one play that stood out to me in the fourth quarter when he fumbled on the run, picked it back up and threw a dart to Goddard by the sideline. Great throw, great poise. But I want everyone to know, like, it's only been 2 starts. Like, it's okay to be excited for him, and I'm excited for him. And the Eagles have been more fun and more exciting to watch over the last 2 weeks than they have been basically all season. But pump the brakes for a moment. We have our first caller here. He's new to the TPL channel. I don't know if he knows his way around StreamYard.
What's up, boys?
What's up, Dibes?
Dibes, what is going on?
Doing well, man. Much better than yesterday. How you doing?
I'm fantastic.
All right, I have a question for you guys. Ready?
Go ahead.
All right. So this is about Jalen Hurts. I want to ask you a question about Jalen Hurts. In his first 2 starts, this guy piled up 505 yards, an NFL record 169 rushing yards against 2 of the top 10 defenses in the NFL, 24 and 26 points the last 2 weeks. The last time an Eagles quarterback had 4 touchdowns in a game was the game that Carson Wentz got injured in 2017. You look at Jalen Hurts' performance. 9 different receivers had a reception. He had 7 completions of 20 yards or more. He had 29 rushes for 169 yards. How many times have we banged our heads against the wall, yelling Carson to run more and more and more, get out of the pocket? Whether that's Doug Peterson's fault, that's another podcast. We've done many pods on that. But that play at the end of the game where he fumbled the ball and picked it up and threw it to Dallas Goedert on the sideline, vintage Carson Wentz. My question to you guys is, hypothetically, if Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts are on the roster at this time next year, are you two okay with a quarterback competition? And that is my question.
You want to take that one first, Kent?
You can go ahead. You go first.
Yeah, fine. If that's why these next two games are critical to viewing what you have here with Jalen Hurts, right? Because if he plays well, and let's say the Giants lose to the Ravens this weekend, we beat Dallas, and Washington loses to Carolina this weekend, and then Week 17 comes down to the Eagles and Washington, and he balls out. Theoretically, in those 4 games that he played, he's earned a chance to have a starting job. That being said, Dobbs, you know my stance on Carson Wentz. You know how I view – look, Carson Wentz has done more than enough of his own part and should take more than enough of the blame for his, terrible season he's had this year. But the organization as a whole has done basically everything they can to not help out the guy they paid to be the franchise quarterback. So, yeah, I'm okay with a quarterback competition. I don't know how you evaluate the two. It would be really weird. To me, my honest answer, there's no way both of them can be here to start the 2021 season.
Yeah. To go off your question, not the hypothetical situation, but obviously if he closes out the season, even if we don't make the playoffs, even if he plays well again the last 2 games of the season, there's going to be some type of competition, and I don't see how he realistically wouldn't start week 1 unless Wentz somehow has the best training camp of all time in terms of quarterbacks. But yeah, it's going to be a competition. Like Dylan said, I don't think they both will be here, but to answer your question, we'd have to have a QB competition.
My last take before I jump off is I don't know if I trust having Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz on the same roster. I don't know. I'm just reading the tea leaves. There's no information other than that. For whatever reason, this guy, Doug Peterson, loves himself the backup quarterback. I have no idea why. I would feel much more comfortable with Doug Peterson staying as head coach and having an offensive coordinator brought in and going with Jalen Hurts. Not being said, I'd rather go with Carson Wentz next year, but that's my better scenario. I agree. I do not want either on the roster, but that's all Howie.
The last thing I'll say before you jump off, Dives, is the worst case scenario and the most Eagles thing that can happen is Jalen Hurts plays really, really well in the last 4 games, and the Eagles finish 2-2, don't make the playoffs. They get the 10th pick instead of 7 where they're at now. They miss out on Jamar Chase,
right,
and Devontae Smith, and everything just goes to shit.
Could you imagine if we have a repeat of the 2020 NFL draft? We beat Dallas by somehow, and we have the 9th pick. Dallas has the 8th pick. And just like last year, they take CeeDee Lamb, a.k.a. Jamar Chase, and just laugh at all Eagles fans. That doesn't even fit what they need. They need defense. But that would be the most slap-in-the-face moment for all Eagles fans. That's totally on brand, right? That's 2020, baby. That's how we roll in 2020. All right, see you guys. Have a good show.
Come on, Dobbs. All right, Gin. So let's break. Oh, man. Here come the comments. George Ryder from the show podcast. Hurts so good. George, if you want to come on here and debate me and Gin, click that link on the YouTube channel and come on in, buddy. But Gin, let's talk about the Arizona game real quick. Not real quick, but let's kind of break it down a little bit because, like we said, if you watched the TPL live stream yesterday during the Eagles games, I gave Jalen Hurts an A. Gink gave Jalen Hurts an A. Everyone on the crew gave Jalen Hurts an A. That being said, not everything was pretty, and they still lost the game. I think that's what people are missing here. Yes, he looked great, but what I took away from the game is what I've been saying. So they beat the Saints, which no one was really expecting them that to happen. A lot of circumstances came into that game. They win. My whole thing was it doesn't matter how good Jalen Hurts plays. As you saw yesterday, 4 touchdowns, 338 yards passing, over 400 total yards, no interceptions. They still lost. Why? Because the because the secondary is shit, even though they were battered and beaten to hell, and Darius Slay didn't travel the team, and Vontae Maddox and Rodney McLeod are out. Jaquette played really well for his debut. But the linebackers, which they don't value at all, they're fine against the run. They couldn't cover you, Gint, okay? I like Alex Singleton. I think he's a nice piece against the run. He can't cover anybody, right? Kyler did whatever he wanted to. He had himself a record day. And I think you saw our offensive line. Matt Pryor should never start at right guard ever again.
6 sacks in 2 starts.
Yeah.
That's like –
So my point, it doesn't matter who's under center. It doesn't matter how they're playing. Is it more fun right now because Jalen Hurts can do more with his legs and create more? Absolutely. And he gave this team a much-needed spark when they were down and out. But they still lost the game. Why? Yeah. Because the rest of the team isn't that good, guys. And I see everyone wanting a playoff push. And sure, I would love a playoff push, and maybe Week 17 is way more exciting, and we play Washington, and maybe we get a home playoff game, and that would be great, right? They're 4-9-1. They are not a good football team.
Yeah, no, and just going more in depth into the game, we talk about Jalen Hurts, 3 touchdowns. Something the Eagles haven't had all season's field position, and the first 2 scores we had were based on field position. Also, on a 3rd and 20, he threw a screen pass to a wide receiver that had no business going anywhere but 7 yards, and Quez Watkins takes it to the house and he scores a touchdown.
Yeah.
Again, Jalen Hurts was an A. Jalen Hurts was awesome. I'm not taking things away from Jalen Hurts, but that's just something to look at rather than just saying we were within 1 score of one of the probably the better NFL teams that are struggling currently. But I think that just gets added to how the game went down, that people will pretend that was some miraculous play. You look at the box score, it says Jalen Hurts throws, what was it? It was like 42 yards or something like that.
Something like that.
30-something. And you see Jalen Hurts throws that touchdown, but read behind the lines.
Right. And that's the thing that this fan base and media don't really want to acknowledge. And I'm with you. Now, I know a lot of people are going to take this the wrong way, and we're bashing Jalen Hurts. No, we're not. He played lights out yesterday. He really did. But there's context to things, guys. There's context to that Saints win. Like, you played against Taysom Hill. Like, they were on their 3rd straight road game. They had the Chiefs the week after. They were probably looking ahead with this quarterback drama in Philadelphia. They have no tape against Jalen Hurts. So they win the Saints game. Now let's look at this game. 16-0. The offense is stale in the first quarter. A goose egg in the first quarter for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now you think it's going to be a rout, right? Mm-hmm. Well, as good as Kyler Murray played, as I mentioned earlier, let's look at the numbers here. Again, where are they? 27 of 36 passing, 406 yards, 3 touchdowns, a pick, 2 fumbles, 1 lost, used his legs a little bit. Kyler had a record personal day, okay? But somehow he and the Arizona Cardinals confusingly kept this Eagles team around. Like 16-0, and like you just mentioned, our first score to even make it a ball game is a 3rd and 20 screen to Quez Watkins, where if Arizona just comes up and makes a tackle and contains the out of bounds, like the marker, he doesn't get loose down the sideline for a touchdown. That's a bad Arizona play. I don't really know what happened there. Then let's look at the Murray turnovers, the fumbled lost, which gave the Eagles great field position for their 2nd touchdown, I believe. Was he's getting sacked, he's rolling over the defensive lineman's body, and he's holding the ball out here in one hand instead of covering it up. He's getting rolled over. Jaquette comes up and knocks it out. That's a bad play by Kyler Murray. Leads to an Eagles score on a short field. Let's go. Now it's the 4th quarter, I believe. It's 26-20 Arizona. They're driving right down the field. If they score here, ball game over. It's probably going to get ugly for the rest of the 4th quarter. Kyler Murray doesn't get hit. He's not really pressured. He steps up in the pocket and throws a duck directly to Marcus Epps.
It was a great pass.
Not a Cardinal around. Marcus Epps gets an interception in the end zone. So there's context. Like, yes, he played lights out. It was the most fun I've had watching an Eagles game all season. Not taking anything away from the kid, but the score really wasn't 33-26 on the back of Jalen Hurts. I don't know how to say it the right way.
And we're sitting here pointing out all these flaws that the Arizona Cardinals had, and they still won the game. It's not like we're sitting here making excuses on why the Eagles won a game.
Yeah.
Still lost. And again, I really don't want to make this sound like we're being pessimistic, and because the Eagles benched Carson Wentz, we're sitting here like trying to root for them to lose. If you watched the live stream yesterday, we wanted nothing but for the Eagles to win. We were sitting there screaming about how Dallas Goedert gave absolutely zero effort on a ball that he kind of looked like he could have caught in the end zone. So that's just like you said, there's so much more that goes into a football game that isn't in a box score that people don't really look at.
Yeah, we have Jonathan Himes here. I think he's on Team Wentz. Again, I still love Carson. I defended him versus Nick. I'll defend him now, to be honest. I'm with you, man. And that's the shitty thing that this narrative in Philadelphia has. I want to say this now. I want everyone to understand it is okay to like and support Carson Wentz and still believe he's a franchise quarterback after one really poor season, okay? While supporting Jalen Hurts and wanting what's best for the Eagles right now, which is Jalen Hurts, and wanting them to succeed. Okay? I don't know if you guys are on Twitter or not, but that's not a thing. That's not a thing. And I'll say it again. My issue on all our Faithful Fanatic shows before Gant was you can plug in Jalen Hurts because everyone wanted to point the finger at Carson. You can plug in Jalen Hurts. Nothing's going to change because they have holes all over the place. It's like when we had E-Rock on the show before, and he gave the picture of think of a ship that has 50 holes and water's coming in through each hole, and you can plug a hole here and plug a hole here, but sooner or later all the water's going to get in, right? That's kind of what this Eagles team was like from top to bottom. So he wins game one. He wins the first game against the Saints and against the number one defense, and that kind of changed everyone's mind. Now it's a great pick in the second round. Now he's better than Carson Wentz. Now Carson was the only problem. Everything else is fine. That's not the truth. I don't want Doug Peterson. I don't want to get to the end of the year and everyone just overlook Howie Roseman's roster construction and payroll. I don't want everyone to overlook Doug's play calling for 85% of this season. I don't want everyone to overlook the poor offensive line and wide receiver separation play, the defensive back play, the linebacker play. From top to bottom, they're a bad team. Dive says, major positive versus the Cardinals. We are 2 games away from focusing 100% of our attention to the Sixers and Flyers, 2 teams that deserve it. Amen. Not like 4-9-1. Think about that, guys. 4-9-1, and they're getting so much of our energy and attention every single week, every day of the week. I'm doing it right now. I'm going to be fully gray by the end of this Eagles season. 22 years old, fully gray. Let's see. Steven here. Steven, if you want to join, buddy, stay in the comment section. We'll get to as many comments as you want. But if you want to come on for a minute or two, and same goes for everyone else, TPL has pinned the link for the stream on their YouTube page. You can go on there, click, come in for a minute to talk to me again, get your opinion out on the situation. He says, I do get worried the Eagles only scored 6 for the second half. Adjustments did slow the Eagles offense down the last 2 games. Both QBs can play. Both can be true. Exactly. One had a really bad year in this offense. One has come in with no tape, more mobile, can use his legs more to get out of from behind the bad offensive line and create plays. Both things are true. But I want to bring this up. And again, I know it's going to sound like all I'm doing is knocking the kid after he had a career day, and he's done one thing that only I think Michael Vick has done in the entire history of the National Football League. But it seems almost – now I hope he proves us wrong against the Cowboys, against Washington, whatever the case is. But versus the Saints, he lit up the Saints in the first half, 17-0 at halftime. And then it's 17-14. The offense goes stale in the second half. And what was he getting? 38 yards passing in the second half, 38 yards rushing in the second half, and a fumble lost versus the Saints. This past second, and only scored 7 points from a Miles Sanders touchdown. This past second half against the Cardinals, only scored 6 points. Okay, so they had some good drives. He made some good plays late in the fourth quarter. He did give them a chance to win it. Dallas Goedert makes a play in the end zone, but at the same time, 6 points is 6 points in the second half. That's not going to cut it.
I agree. Totally agree. You're seeing a lot of coaching in terms of who we've played and how many adjustments have been made at halftime, which the Eagles coaching staff is incapable of doing. But that's for another time. It's definitely something to worry about. So we'll see.
Yeah, dude. I mean, so
that's really like the motto for the rest of this season is like, we'll see. Because it's like everyone's ready to jump the gun and it's, okay, how can we get rid of Carson and we'll just eat this dead cap? But as opposed to there's still 2 more games down the stretch with 2 teams or one team mainly that's trying to play for a division title. So just let it all play out and stop jumping the gun on 10 quarters of football that he's played now.
Yeah. And not to mention, I didn't even mention this. He was sacked 6 times on Sunday against the Arizona Cardinals. So for everyone that thought after the Saints game, oh, look, it was Carson's fault taking all those sacks, blah, blah, blah. And not realizing that it was Jalen's mobility against the Saints that kept him from getting sacked is kind of the difference there. But let's move forward a little bit, Gin, because so I guess we can both agree that he gets an A for the game against the Cardinals.
Jalen Hurts, yeah. I mean, we said it yesterday.
He was one of the lone bright spots. He made the game very exciting, made a lot of great plays. And the one thing, and I'll go on record for saying this, after the Saints game, when everyone was ready to jump the gun and anoint him the future franchise quarterback, I asked to see more from his arm because he only threw for 167 yards, had less than he was 17 of 30, 17 of 31, less than 200 yards. He was kind of one read. If it wasn't there, get the hell out of the pocket. And he did just that. 3 passing touchdowns, 338 passing yards, had a good quarterback rating. So I can't ask for much more. He has surpassed my expectations by a mile. So that's, I guess, leading into our future of the quarterback controversy here. While he has surpassed those expectations for me, it is exactly that, Gin. 2 starts. And I'll say it again. I like Jalen Hurts. I want to see the kid succeed. I want to see the Eagles succeed. But I also like Carson Wentz. And I despise how the organization has handled this and how some of the fan base acts after 2 games. So over the next 2 games against Dallas and Washington, maybe with a division title on the line, let's continue to see what Jalen Hurts has, but let's pump the brakes in the meantime.
Yeah,
is that fair?
No. Well, I mean, I totally agree. Now, the other half of the fan base isn't going to agree, and they're ready to anoint another statue outside the stadium for Jalen Hurts for losing a 33-26 football game. But it's going to be really interesting to see. And I know me and you are kind of on the same page with – I mean, I hope Jalen Hurts plays well solely because I'm an Eagles fan. I want to see him succeed, but it would be really nice to, in my opinion, to start Carson next year and try to flip Jalen Hurts for a first-round draft pick somewhere. So, and again, that doesn't mean I'm sitting here saying I want them to tank. I wouldn't mind them losing these next 2 games and drafting 7 and taking Jamar Chase. But I would love to see a home playoff game. So I'm like, I don't even know what to say. I guess I'm Switzerland at this point between these 2 barking dogs.
I have nothing in that perspective. I want the stud wide receiver that can potentially, change an offense like that. Because he's now the number 1 guy. Jalen Reagor becomes the number 2. Dallas Goedert gets another year. He's your number 1 tight end now. Miles Sanders, Brandon Brooks, and Lane Johnson come back healthy. The offense will look completely different and much better if that's the case. Don't worry, Dives. Greg Ward will probably still be here if you're still watching.
Yeah, he'll be the 3rd-string quarterback.
But this is where I kind of want more people to call in, if not comment with us, because it seems as though, again, recency bias is huge in sports, but it's even much, much larger in the city of Philadelphia when it comes to their sports teams.
Yeah, and it's everywhere.
Good.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say it's everywhere in the city. It's Carson, it's Ben, it's everywhere you look. It's like we have to be split. There can't just be.
Right.
So
And so what I'm going to do, because I know a lot of people like to come at the Wentz apologists because they're the divisive ones. We're the ones that don't want to see They have this mindset, we don't want to see Jalen Hurts succeed so we can be right, and so on and so forth. It's not the truth. I just honestly didn't think he would play this well behind that offensive line with the wide receivers he has. He's proved me wrong. Good for him. That's what that's great, right? But they're the ones that need Jalen Hurts to succeed to fit their narrative that it was only Carson Wentz. So let's talk about recency bias. Comment with us. Join the conversation if you want to jump on with me and argue back here a little bit. So let's think about this game. This dude, Carson Wentz, is 27, 28 years old. And I know a lot of people like to say he only had one good year. Well, in that good year, he led an 11-win team to secure the number 1 seed in the NFC basically by the time he got hurt, and was the runaway MVP before getting hurt against the Rams. He came back in 2018, hustled his ass off to get back. Why? Because everyone's favorite son, Nick Foles, wasn't cutting it as the starter, gets a fractured vertebrae in his back, plays through it. The record wasn't as good by any means, but the numbers were just as good from his 2017 campaign. He comes out in 2019 with a awful, god-awful roster construction by Howie Roseman, and he wins 4 in a row to win the division with J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, with Mac Hollins, with Deontay Burnett and company, and Boston Scott, because Miles Sanders was hurt that year, to the playoffs, where a lot of people, again, myself included, but it wasn't just me, there was a lot of people in the media, a lot of analysts, a lot of fans who were saying that they believe the Eagles would have beaten Seattle in that home playoff game if he doesn't get that cheap headshot by Jadeveon Clowney. Yeah. Fast forward one season, and he might be one of the most despised athletes and quarterbacks in this city.
And another thing that really grinds my gears is obviously the tweets came out yesterday that it seems to be deemed fake that he wants out if he's a backup, which regardless if it is or not, no one wants to be a backup in sports. Sports is competition. Competitors compete, and they don't want to be on the bench. Regardless of that, I've only seen that was not true. I hate this heel turn that the Carson haters are, oh, man, he's being so good to Jalen. He's helping him, because they don't really like it. They're just saying it to deem their fact that they're not like these Eagles haters. That I shouldn't even say Eagles haters. I should say Carson haters, and he doesn't do anything right. And now they're admitting he's doing something right because he's on the bench. That's just something that's really grinding my gears in the situation.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what grinds my gears sometimes, Kim.
Oh, here we go.
That's our boy Nadir. Nadir, thanks for watching, buddy. For those of you that don't know, Nadir always comments with the Faithful Fanatics podcast. He's here. Everybody proves you wrong, by the way. Well, Nadir, I really don't have any idea what you're talking about. And so please explain in the comments. Or, like we mentioned before, click the link in the comment section, or if you're watching on YouTube, which you are, I can see here under on your name thing here. Click that link that TPL put on and come join the conversation and prove me wrong.
Nadir, we'd love to have you on, man. You're one of my personal favorites.
Maybe we'll go here if you come on and we'll talk a little bit about FurCon. Your boy. That's the thing. And again, and that's the comment right there again. What proves me wrong? I said I want Jalen Hurts to succeed. He played lights out against the Cardinals. They lost. Okay? Yeah. Let's get that through your heads. They still lost. Why? Because the overall roster sucks.
It's the same reason they lost against Baltimore, same reason they lost against Pittsburgh, when the defense gave up like 60 points in 2 weeks, but Carson was good enough to win those games. But yes. It's a different moral of the story now that Jalen Hurts puts up 26 points against not Pittsburgh's defense.
Hold on. Let me pick up right there for a second. So I've been on record multiple times saying this roster is eerily similar and poorly constructed with not a lot of talent all around as the same one in 2019. Carson's hero ball down the stretch masked that. No changes was made. Okay? No change was made. Now Carson's not playing well. So it all looks like a big shit show, right? My fear for not just for Carson getting kicked out, not just for Carson, getting exiled from the city after a bad season, not just for the Eagles being set back multiple years, and not even for Jalen Hurts, who didn't ask to be put in this situation, for the Eagles to ruin him again. Because my fear is that he'll play well over the next 2 games. He earns a starting job, probably rightfully so if he plays well, and maybe they make the playoffs or make a run or whatever. Okay, he earns that job. But then no other change is made. Howie Roseman's still here in charge of the draft. Doug Peterson's still here. They don't really help it. They don't go out and draft Jamar Chase. They don't go out and draft Micah Parsons. They don't go out and draft Devontae Smith. They don't do anything, right? And they keep this old, sucky roster around him, and you're going to ruin Jalen Hurts too. That's my point, guys. Everyone wants to jump off the ledge right now and be so excited about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is the guy. Pump the brakes. It's only been 2 starts, and in both starts, he's combined for 13 points in the second half. 1 win, 1 loss, has shown great flashes, great poise, great leadership, great athletic ability in both games. He could be the answer. I'm not taking that out of account. But can we see first? And then that's where I get told in the comments that I'm wrong.
Yeah.
After 2 starts, I'm wrong for wanting to see first.
They've seen enough. He's clear.
Yeah, right. So 1 season was enough to discount 3 really good seasons of Carson Wentz. But two good starts and a 1-1 record is enough to anoint your next franchise quarterback. Nadir says, must sleep now. See you guys tomorrow. Nadir, I think Party on Broad will be on tomorrow. Faithful Fanatics will be on Wednesday at 5, so come check that out, guys. Again, I want to get into the Carson Wentz rumors that I guess you can call them rumors. I guess you can, for some reason, call them breaking news to a lot of people. On Sunday, Adam Schefter reported that sources say Carson Wentz is not pleased with how things have gone and wants out of Philadelphia if he is the backup moving forward next season. How do I say this? Duh.
Yeah.
Is that groundbreaking news here? The guy that was paid to be the franchise guy, with whom's organization has done nothing to help him out and succeed as the franchise guy, except draft his replacement, and who is forcing his replacement down everyone's throats with those packages all season long to try to prove the pick right, and now here we are. He wants out if he's not the guy. No shit. There's a human effect, a human nature to sports, and no one wants to realize that. They're these $100 million guys that get paid to act like robots, that don't have emotions, don't have feelings, right? Not just to mention, I'm not saying he should be a sour puss about it. He did more than enough to take the blame this year. Okay, he did more than enough to take the blame this year. He played awful. I'm not saying it's some big, shock or surprise that Jalen Hurts has the job right now, but there's context to it, guys. Like we were saying earlier. Okay, it's not just because he was awful. So now, people in the city, some of Eagles Twitter, people on ESPN this morning want to come out and judge the dude's character.
Yeah, Ryan Clark. I hate him.
Call him soft. He's not made for Philly. Ryan Clark, by the way, you never played a snap or lived in Philadelphia, so how the hell would you know who or what is made for Philadelphia? The dude got his ass beat this year. Came back from 2 major injuries, 2 major rehabs in the past 3 seasons, and continues to fight to be this city's quarterback. And you want to call him soft. First of all, I didn't know that it was groundbreaking news that the dude would want to be a starter elsewhere.
Yeah. I'm just – and it's not – this isn't a shot at Jalen Hurts by any means, but Jalen Hurts lost a job at Alabama to Tua. These integrity people
I know where you're going. Keep going.
Yeah, are so big on integrity, and he needs to stay and be a great backup. Well, Jalen Hurts, as he should have, because he is a competitor in sports, which is the most competitive thing on the planet, he went to a different school.
Yeah.
If you're rolling with Jalen Hurts, which is an okay option, I don't see why you have Carson Wentz sitting on your bench regardless of the cap hit. That's just my opinion. But instead they want to pretend that it's okay that Carson Wentz is a backup. He needs to be a backup because he played bad for X amount of games.
Right. Let's also get to the main point of the headline. So even if this came from Carson Wentz's mouth, it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. The headline reads, sources feel or sources think.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What?
It was
So now sources think this, and now Carson Wentz is a soft human being.
Yeah, Rob said it really well in the live stream yesterday. Rob said he really thinks that came right out of the Weasel's room of how
Can someone explain to me how all these rumors are leaking from Carson Wentz? Rumors are leaking earlier that Doug Peterson isn't, coaching for his job and doesn't care if he's here next year. All these rumors come from every single person and player, except there's no rumors about Howie Roseman.
Yeah.
Explain that.
No, I can't explain it. Besides the fact that it's poetic, you can see it. It's written right in front of your eyes.
Again, guys, this is the Daily Dose premiere on the Painted Lines. If you're watching us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, wherever, click the link in the comment section or go on YouTube and click the link there. Come in a minute or two, throw out a comment, throw out your opinion on the quarterback controversy, where you stand, or if you stand like me and you're just, you want Carson Wentz, but obviously if the alternative is the future, that's the future. The point of the fate of the team or the success of the team is ahead of the success of one player. We have Dives here saying Rob Motti will be an awesome guest for your Faithful Fanatic show next week. Yes, guys, check out the Faithful Fanatic show every Wednesday at 5. Rob Motti will be joining us next week. He says he's going to destroy these pathetic rumors. Rob Motti is definitely Team Carson Wentz. And he says, shout out to Shane's latest episode of the Checkdown where he crushes the ridiculous media on Carson wanting out. Yeah, go check out Shane at on half and half
_TPL
on Twitter. He's got a lot of great articles and content out there. Go check out the Checkdown on TPL's YouTube page. So yeah, man. Again, and obviously Doug came out today. Jalen Hurts will start against the Dallas Cowboys this Sunday. Shocker.
Yeah.
Shocker.
I hate him. I just don't like him.
That is my biggest fear. My biggest fear is that Jalen Hurts plays well enough in Doug's new system that didn't work for Carson. It's clearly a different system. Let's throw that out there, right?
Yeah.
Is that Jalen Hurts' play masks Doug, masks Howie. Okay? That's what kills me. And I don't think any change is going to happen this offseason except in the quarterback room. There's no way you can have both guys here next year. I'm sorry.
I don't see it either. And if you have both, ultimately, if there is both, I think it would have to be that Jalen has a dud these last 2 weeks and is just a backup next year. I don't think Carson's going to be on the bench next year to start the season, at least, in my opinion. I don't see it. But we'll see. Who knows? This is it's like a game of Clue. We got to find the riddles and figure this stuff out. Thank God I'm not making the decision.
It's a mess, dude. How did we get here?
I don't know. And I want to not be here.
How did we get
not here? I love it here, but you know what I mean.
We love it here on the Daily Dose.
Yeah.
I am so fed up and frustrated with this team, and a lot of media too, that it has to be clickbait. So if this is me calling out media members or analysts or other radio hosts, I'm sorry. But I've seen a lot. Also, shout out to Paul Hembakidis, who came on the Faithful Fanatics podcast last Wednesday. Hopefully, we're going to try to get him on the Daily Dose or another Faithful Fanatics show. But Paul Hembo from ESPN's Get Up he is a Hurts guy. Flat out, he is a Hurts guy. He is not a Carson Wentz guy whatsoever. He actually messaged me to talk some shit last night after the game, even though, Paul, I doubt you're going to watch this, but they lost So the thing that bothers me is that after 2 games, he's a better quarterback already.
Yeah.
I saw tweets earlier that would you rather trade, because someone mentioned like they could trade Hurts and get picks back for Hurts or whatever and get value back for Hurts and then rebuild around Carson next year, which is not a terrible idea. And someone in the radio business said that would you rather have the older or the old, more expensive quarterback who isn't good or the young, cheap quarterback that's already better? He's already better. He is already better after 2 starts. Mind you, hold on. They lost that one. I got to keep throwing that out there for people. For some reason, it's not clicking up there for people, Gint.
They didn't even cover the spread.
He's 1-1. Okay?
They didn't even cover the spread.
No, they didn't cover the spread. 6 points in the second half. 7 points in the second half the week before. All of a sudden, he's better. He's better than the guy that secured the 1 seed and was a huge reason that you have a Super Bowl in this city. He's better than the guy that came out and won 4 in a row with the division on the line. I get it. It was against the NFC least. They suck. It was his fault that they were put in that position anyway. Oh, my God.
Yawn. That gets a yawn. Another thing that just this season and why I'm so ready for it to be done is the fan base this year made this such a process, man. It would be one thing if we were 4-9-1 and we just weren't good and you could tell the roster wasn't good. It would be like, all right, NFL Red Zone.
Yeah, all right, we suck.
Eagles would be on mute. I'd still watch, but it's just so exhausting. Just having to restrain myself going on Twitter. Yeah, shout out Ty Book and his podcast. Hold the Pin. Yeah, sorry, I forgot the name. But yeah, it's just like I have to watch now because I have to dissect every play because I have to defend myself for when I get a text saying, well, clearly they were wrong when they gave him the contract or clearly they were wrong. So it's like
sorry, I'm calling out the fan base here, right? And the divisive fan base. So I got to tell you, so again, being a Carson fan, it does not mean I'm a Jalen Hurts hater. It does not mean I don't care about the good for the Eagles. I loved what I saw to Jalen Hurts. And if he continues that, he might, have an argument for the job next year. But because it'll be hard for him to lose after this. However, those same people who say that I'm the one that's divisive because I love Wentz so much. I got a text yesterday again from someone who rips Wentz, said his 2017 was his only good season. That type of fan, he's in one of my group chats. So Jalen Hurts is under pressure. He's getting sacked in the end zone. He throws the ball away. Intentional grounding. It's a safety in the end zone. He texts immediately in the group chat. Looked outside the tackle box to me. Are you that much of a clown that you have to be right so often that on the first offensive possession, the kid gets a safety because he throws an intentional grounding inside the tackle box? You want to try to defend that. He was nowhere near outside of the tackle box.
Yeah,
those are the people that make me sound divisive. And I know we're talking about context earlier, and we bring up Carson and liking Carson, and you know what's going to happen. Twitter in the comments, we're the bad fans. We love Carson. Carson sucks. You're wrong. So on and so forth. Whatever. Okay? I want to wrap up the show by saying this. I like Carson Wentz. I like Jalen Hurts. I love the Philadelphia Eagles. I hate how the Eagles have handled Carson Wentz. I hate how they've handled Jalen Hurts because he didn't ask to be drafted by the Eagles. He didn't ask to be put in this position. He's going out and balling out, right?
That's a great comment.
I know. Where I stand, just for all those new viewers, I don't know if all these people that are going to watch are the same from our other shows or not. My stance is that, in my opinion, Carson Wentz can still be a franchise quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles under a new regime built around him correctly. Okay? A new offensive coordinator that's going to play to his strengths, not drop him back 45 times to 15 run plays in a monsoon with no wide receiver separation and the worst offensive line in football. Okay? They're going to go out and get a number one wide receiver for him. Not a project in Jalen Reagor who can't track a deep ball whatsoever. Not another year of Greg Ward as the number one or number two guy. Not playing Alshon Jeffrey over 50% of the snaps instead of Travis Fulgham. That kind of situation with a healthy offensive line, my thing is I don't want Carson to be the scapegoat and the first domino to fall in this mess of an organization. If that happens, I will be a little bit upset. Now, if Jalen Hurts comes out and everyone proves me wrong, so be it. What I want to happen, whether they're both here, I don't know how they both will be, whether Jalen gets moved, so whatever. I want one more year of Carson Wentz. Because I don't think one bad year, 10, 11 bad games with this poor of a team around you should define your career in Philadelphia after he balled out for 2.5, 3 years, whatever you want to call it. And everyone loves Doug Peterson, doesn't want Doug to go. Carson played just as much a role in that Super Bowl that Doug did, okay? I want another year of Carson. If he comes out with a new OC or a new head coach, whatever the case is after this season, with a healthy offensive line, with an actual number one wide receiver, not even all those things, just if a few of those things happen, and he's awful, because I want to remind everybody that the 15, 16 interceptions he threw this year in a limited amount of games, that's not Carson Wentz. He didn't just forget how to play football, guys. He didn't throw more than 7 interceptions since his rookie season in a season. He's not known for throwing picks. Something is off this year, and it's him, and it's not just him. If he comes out next year and plays like this again or anything like this and he sucks, I'll come right back on the Daily Dose. I'll come right out on Faithful Next. Wherever I am, I will be the first person to say it is time to move on from Carson Wentz. I was wrong. Nadir, everyone, you were right. I was an idiot. But to give up on this dude after one bad year and to declare a guy who's made 2 career starts the answer and a better quarterback already is mind-boggling to me. And that ends my rant. Again, wrap up.
I think that's perfect ending for your first show.
Wrap up again. I'm exhausted by this team and this fan base.
Yeah, that was like a TED Talk, man. You got everything out there, huh? You want to close it out?
Yeah. First, Steven says here, dude, he may have been in the middle of the tackle box. Steven, he was in the middle of the tackle box. I mean, Jason Kelsey's ass was right in his nose and when he threw that ball. So I don't know what my friend was looking at there, but I'm Dylan Davis. I'm the host of the Daily Dose. This was our debut. Matt McGinty. Gint, you joining me tomorrow? Putting you on the spot here. Don't know.
Yeah, if you want me to, yeah, definitely.
Gint will be joining us tomorrow. Yes, sir. So for those of you that are going to watch that are watching live, no, this is not an Eagles, depressed, sad show here. This is a Philadelphia 4-for-4 show. Obviously, with the game being yesterday, the Sixers are still 2 days away. Flyers don't start for another month. Phillies are who knows what the hell they're doing right now. Today was focused on the Eagles. Daily Dose is going to be 30 to 50 minutes, Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 5:30, 5:45 every day. On Wednesdays, it'll be from 6 to 6:30. It'll host, like, when the Sixers play, it'll host as a pregame show type of thing, too. It'll recap the night before's games for the Sixers and Flyers. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Like I said before, the link is in the comment section. It's going to be every night for you guys to join. Dive showed you how to do it earlier. Just click, come in. You don't have to show your face. You can just use the audio. Just talk to us, minute or two, comment, ask us a question, whatever it is. Or, as always, you can comment in the comment section. For myself, for Gint, just thank you guys for watching and hope you enjoyed it. Go Sixers.